In the fast-paced world of K-pop, every movement of a BTS member can trigger waves of speculation, analysis, and conversation across multiple platforms worldwide. On a recent morning in Seoul, the arrival of Kim Taehyung, known to millions as V of BTS, at the headquarters of HYB Corporation sparked a flurry of discussions that continue to reverberate among fans and industry watchers alike. Unlike many of his past appearances, this particular visit raised questions rather than answers, fueling rumors that HYB may be preparing to temporarily suspend the artist from group activities. Witnesses near the HYB building reported that Taehyung entered the premises quietly, without the usual fanfare or scheduled promotional events that typically accompany appearances by BTS members. His demeanor was calm, yet the timing of his visit coincided with circulating reports that internal company decisions might affect his immediate role within the group. While neither HYB nor Taehyung has issued an official statement confirming or denying these rumors, the speculation has been enough to dominate online discussions across platforms such as X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and Korean online communities. Industry insiders suggest that the situation may not necessarily be disciplinary in nature. Temporary suspensions in the K-pop industry can be linked to a variety of factors, including health concerns, personal matters, or contractual adjustments related to military service obligations. However, the absence of clarification from HYB has left room for multiple interpretations, each adding to the narrative momentum building around the incident. For fans of BTS, known collectively as ARMY, the prospect of Taehyung stepping back from group activities, whether short-term or otherwise, represents a significant development. BTS has consistently presented itself as a 7-member collective, emphasizing unity as one of the group's core strengths. A potential change in that dynamic, even if temporary, is bound to invite questions about future schedules, ongoing projects, and the overall trajectory of BTS as they continue their careers both individually and as a group. Complicating matters further, additional reports emerged suggesting that fellow member Jungkook was seen in an emotional state during a private gathering following the news. While unverified, these accounts have been amplified online under headlines declaring that Jungkook cried as Taehyung left BTS. Such coverage blurs the line between confirmed reporting and speculation, yet it underscores the extent to which any development within BTS is magnified by the intense public interest surrounding them. Observers note that Jungkook and Taehyung share a well-documented friendship, one that has often been highlighted in both official content and casual interactions. Any suggestion of strain or separation between them inevitably resonates deeply with fans who have followed their relationship over the years. In this context, the idea of Jungkook becoming emotional at the thought of Taehyung's absence gains symbolic weight, whether or not it is grounded in official fact. At the heart of this situation lies a fundamental tension familiar to the global entertainment industry: the balance between transparency and privacy. Companies like HYB operate within highly competitive markets, where the timing and framing of public announcements can significantly influence public sentiment and financial performance. Simultaneously, artists are individuals with personal challenges and private circumstances that do not always lend themselves to immediate disclosure. As a result, events such as Taehyung's unannounced visit to HYB are often interpreted through a mixture of official silence and fan-driven speculation. What makes this case particularly notable is the combination of timing and perception. BTS has recently been navigating the complexities of balancing group identity with individual pursuits as several members engage in solo projects, acting opportunities, and military service obligations. In such an environment, any change in the availability of a member carries heightened symbolic significance. The possibility of Taehyung's temporary suspension, regardless of its underlying cause, thus takes on layers of meaning, extending beyond a single artist to encompass the group as a whole. For ARMY, the lack of clarity can be both unsettling and galvanizing. While some fans call for patience and trust in the official channels of communication, others push for immediate transparency, arguing that the global reach of BTS requires a higher standard of accountability from HYB. Social media trends such as #ProtectTaehyung and Hashtag Stay Strong Jungkook reflect these sentiments, capturing the blend of concern, loyalty, and activism that has long characterized the fandom's response to perceived threats or challenges faced by the group. The scene outside HYB headquarters that morning may have appeared ordinary at first glance, an artist arriving at his company's building. Yet, in the broader context of BTS's global prominence, it became a catalyst for narratives that continue to evolve. Was Taehyung there to discuss a temporary hiatus? Did HYB summon him for internal matters unrelated to the group's public image? Could this be a precursor to a larger announcement concerning BTS's near-term activities? As of now, none of these questions have definitive answers. What is certain, however, is that the appearance has amplified ongoing conversations about the pressures faced by K-pop idols, the strategies employed by entertainment companies, and the ways in which fans navigate the blurred line between public personas and private realities. In the chapters that follow, this article will examine the multiple dimensions of the situation, from industry precedents and fan responses to the potential implications for BTS's future. In order to understand the significance of the reports surrounding Taehyung's potential temporary suspension, it is necessary to examine how the K-pop industry, and HYB in particular, has historically managed similar situations. Temporary suspensions or hiatuses are not uncommon within the South Korean entertainment world. They can arise from a variety of factors including health management, scheduling conflicts, public controversies, or contractual obligations. Each instance carries unique circumstances, yet they collectively provide a framework through which the current situation might be interpreted. Among major K-pop agencies, the practice of suspending or temporarily halting an idol's activities is often presented as a protective measure rather than a punitive one. For example, companies such as SM Entertainment and JYP Entertainment have, on multiple occasions, announced breaks for their artists citing health conditions ranging from anxiety to exhaustion. These decisions, while sometimes sudden, are usually framed as being in the best interest of the artist's long-term well-being and professional sustainability. In this light, speculation about Taehyung's status could be linked to similar motivations. Even in the absence of explicit confirmation, HYB itself has a documented history of navigating these complexities with BTS. Over the years, members including Suga and Jimin have taken temporary breaks from activities due to medical procedures or recovery needs. In each case, the company released statements emphasizing the importance of health over immediate schedules. The manner in which those announcements were made, official, direct, and relatively prompt, contrasts with the current silence surrounding Taehyung, which perhaps explains why fans are particularly unsettled this time. The absence of an official explanation leaves a vacuum that is inevitably filled with speculation. Industry analysts also point to the broader context in which BTS currently operates. With members balancing solo endeavors and military service obligations, the group is already functioning under an altered schedule compared to its peak years of collective activity. Any further disruption, such as Taehyung's potential suspension, amplifies questions about BTS's short-term output and long-term strategic planning. In the business of K-pop, where timing and continuity are crucial, even a temporary pause carries implications that extend beyond individual well-being. One possible angle of interpretation is contractual or disciplinary action. While less frequent, suspensions have at times been employed by companies as a means of addressing controversies or enforcing internal policies. For instance, idols from other agencies have faced temporary removals from activities following public disputes, personal scandals, or breaches of conduct. However, as of this writing, there is no concrete evidence to suggest that Taehyung is involved in such circumstances. The speculation that has surfaced largely stems from the ambiguity of his unannounced visit to HYB, rather than any documented incident. Another important dimension is the relationship between idols and their agencies in the era of globalization. BTS is not only a Korean cultural phenomenon, but also a global brand with extensive partnerships, endorsements, and international commitments. Decisions involving individual members are therefore scrutinized not only by Korean fans, but also by international stakeholders. A temporary suspension of a member like Taehyung, if confirmed, could have ripple effects across promotional campaigns, collaborative projects, and even financial markets, where HYB is listed. The scale of these implications partly explains why even minor uncertainties attract significant public attention. The precedent of individual breaks within BTS also highlights the group's resilience in adapting to change. During Suga's temporary absence due to surgery in 2020, the group adjusted its performance arrangements, redistributing parts and maintaining schedules without compromising artistic output. This demonstrated a capacity to manage temporary disruptions while preserving group integrity. Fans often cite this history as evidence that BTS can withstand individual suspensions, though the emotional and symbolic weight of Taehyung's possible absence remains substantial. Observers further note that the timing of Taehyung's rumored suspension coincides with a delicate phase in BTS's trajectory. With some members serving in the military and others exploring solo artistry, the group is in a transitional period where each activity carries heightened symbolic meaning. A temporary absence, even if benign in cause, risks being interpreted as a sign of instability. Conversely, it may also reflect a strategic recalibration by HYB, potentially designed to balance the group's diverse obligations in a sustainable manner. Comparisons can also be drawn with global entertainment industries outside of K-pop. In Western pop culture, artists taking temporary breaks due to exhaustion, creative recharge, or personal issues is relatively common and often accepted as part of celebrity life. The difference in South Korea lies in the tightly managed nature of idol activities, where prolonged absences are less common and often scrutinized more heavily. This cultural context helps explain why the idea of Taehyung's temporary suspension has generated such a wave of conversation, despite the lack of confirmation. Ultimately, HYB's track record demonstrates both the potential and the limitations of official communication. On one hand, the company has shown a willingness to prioritize artist well-being, as seen in past announcements regarding medical breaks. On the other hand, its current silence regarding Taehyung raises questions about timing, transparency, and strategic messaging. Whether this silence reflects ongoing internal discussions, a decision to delay disclosure, or an absence of significant developments remains unclear. What is certain is that the situation has reignited broader debates within K-pop about artist management, corporate responsibility, and the balance between public access to information and private boundaries. As the story develops, the lens through which fans and analysts interpret Taehyung's appearance at HYB is inevitably shaped by these precedents. The next logical step is to examine how the public, particularly ARMY, has responded to these developments and what their reactions reveal about the dynamics of fandom in the digital era. The moment whispers of Taehyung's possible temporary suspension reached online platforms, the BTS fandom, widely recognized as ARMY, mobilized in ways that highlighted both the scale and sophistication of fan communities in the digital era. Social media served as the primary arena for discussion, speculation, and advocacy, transforming a single unconfirmed sighting at HYB headquarters into a global talking point within hours. Hashtags linked to the event began trending almost immediately across platforms such as X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Variations like hashtag #ProtectTaehyung, hashtag #StayStrongJungkook, and hashtag HYBExplains surged to the top of trending lists in multiple countries, underscoring how quickly ARMY can organize to amplify narratives surrounding BTS. This rapid response illustrates a recurring pattern within the fandom: the blending of emotional investment with strategic use of digital tools to shape public discourse. Part of the intensity stems from ARMY's long history of advocacy on behalf of the group. Over the years, fans have not only promoted BTS's music, but also defended members against perceived injustices, whether related to media coverage, award show decisions, or corporate actions. In this context, the rumors of Taehyung being temporarily sidelined were interpreted not just as a potential managerial decision, but also as a moment requiring immediate community engagement. Even without concrete confirmation, the sheer possibility of disruption to BTS's seven-member unity was enough to spark collective activism. It is notable that the reaction was not uniform. While some fans urged patience, emphasizing the importance of awaiting official clarification from HYB. Others demanded transparency, arguing that global supporters deserved clarity given BTS